Hey guys, so welcome to Magic Behind the Magic. I'm Steve Wickington, and this is where you get to see what goes on in the day-to-day life of a real magician. So this week I went through my 7-point checklist for my booking system, and I found a couple of little hiccups. Not only did I fix them, but I also think I improved them, which is a bonus. If you want to have a look at my 7-point checklist for booking system trends analysis, stay tuned to the end and I'll tell you where the link is and you can go through to that. Have a look now this week and see how it panned out. Hey guys, today is Monday, and as you can probably hear and see, it is raining. It's a horrible day. Today, no plans to do any real work. I'm actually taking the day off. I've got a few things I need to do otherwise, so I'm going to get into those. So it's going to be a fairly quiet day. There's a couple of things I'll do later, and I might talk to you about that then. But for now, I'm just seriously taking the day off. So cheers. Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, a much nicer day than yesterday. Have a look at that. The sun is shining again. I've got a bit I want to get through today. I am going to do a lot of looking back over past information and data collection, as well as updating some of my data collection currently. So I'll talk you through that a little bit soon. But right now I've got to go and feed the guinea pig and open up the veggie patch. Hi guys, so one of the things that I'm going to be doing a lot this week is going back over some of the history of what I do. The reason I do that is because it's lots of information there that can tell you how your business is traveling, where you're heading with it, if it's stalling, if you're on track, in front, all that sort of stuff. So right now I'm updating my data. So what I do is every inquiry that comes in, I record that, and I record some of that information. I record the important parts of that, and I also record whether they convert, whether I hear from them again, all that sort of stuff. It's basically what it is for me is a way that whenever I need to, I can look back, and I'm collecting it for years and years, so you can look back over the years and go, okay, so traditionally February is quiet for this reason or whatever, or it's just traditionally quiet. So all that information, I'm just updating that now, and I think tomorrow I'll talk to you a little bit more about how we look at that information and where we can get that information from that helps us understand what our business is doing. Hey guys, so it is Wednesday today. So yesterday I did a lot of updating, some data entry. Today I'm going to be correlating that with some information out of Google Analytics, and what that will hopefully tell me is basically where the inquiries are coming from as well. Because this is a quiet time of the year for bookings, it's just starting to pick up again now. But because it's the first part of February is traditionally very quiet, I want to make sure that I'm getting the best I can from my AdWords campaigns and things like that without overspending. So you need to make sure that you're not spending the same amount every month, but some months you're getting less back. So yeah, today that's what I'm going to be mostly doing, is just going over Google Analytics and comparing that with what I have recorded as far as bookings coming in for me, and also of course looking at Google AdWords and the history in that as well. I never liked history when I was at school, but I've learnt to love history now that I'm in business, because it really does help you focus and see where your money's going, how your money's coming in, and just what are the trends. And trends are so important when you're doing a business like a kids entertainment business, where it is slightly seasonal. So I'm going to just do some screenshots and things like that for you guys, so you can see just sort of more along what I do. Cheers. Hey guys, so I just want to quickly go over some of the things you can look at using Google Analytics. So you can see here, this is basically the period of February 2017. Pardon me, I have a bit of a frog in my throat today. Yeah, February 2017, so from the 1st to the current date, which is 22nd of February. So in doing that, we look at that. There's not a lot to really get from that. We can look at it, we go, bounce rate's up a little bit. I don't really like it getting above 50, but sometimes it sits there for a while. And everything else, well, there's nothing to compare it to. So what we do now is we go back to the same period last year, and we can compare it there. I mean, we could also compare it to last month, or over a 3-month period, whatever. But I just want to have a look at what's going on over the same period over the year. So we're going to go back to 2016. So exactly the same time frame. So it's in February from the start up to the current date. And you can see there the bounce rate's down a little bit better. I prefer it to be sitting around that, to be honest. But what I also noticed, which is interesting, is that as we've got towards the end of the month, it's actually dropped off. So that's interesting. That could really be because of holiday periods, when Easter is, things like that. So that sort of stuff comes into it a little bit. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the acquisitions over the same period and just see if we can see anything in there that might give us a little clue as to what's actually going on. So first of all, we'll go and have a look at the acquisition overall for 2017. So there we have that there. So you can see most of my inquiries, or most of my website work comes in from AdWords, and then I get a little bit now from direct, and even less from organic, and then social and referrals. They really amount to very little at all. I notice here that the direct is really high. It's got nearly an 80% bounce rate, which is not good, but that can also be caused by robots, and also sometimes people just keep clicking to the same thing by mistake, so it's direct, and it just happens that way. What we'll do is we'll have a look, we'll go back a year just like we did before. So we go back to 2016 acquisitions, and let's have a look there. So that the scale of paid through to organics and direct is pretty much the same, although I think from memory the organics and direct have switched around a little bit. Direct still has a fairly high bounce rate, but not nearly as high as what it was. So I'm guessing that if we go back now to 2017 again, pardon me, there we go, back to there. So direct is looking really rough, and I'm going to look into that a little bit more and just see why that is, because that isn't very good as far as getting good SEO. That can damage your SEO. So I'm going to have a look at that. But that's just gives you an overview of what you can look at and how you can compare. That's the beauty with Google Analytics, is you can compare the time frames. You can do the same with AdWords as well. You can get in there and have a look at that. I'm not going to worry about looking at that side of it for me, because that's all looking very sort of the same. It's more this direct bit here, and also the fact that organics looking quite good, but I would like it a lot higher. So I'm going to have a look at that and see if I can increase my SEOs a little bit there. So yeah, that's why I like to study history now. I used to hate history when I was at school, but studying it for business pays off. Hey guys, so today is one of those days that has basically been too short. I've completely run out of time to do what I wanted to get done today. When I went through some of the analytics and data that I've been collecting and Google collects for me, I found a few things that I really want to have a closer look at and sort out. Some of that's to do with AdWords, some of it's to do with my landing pages, and some of it's to do with my homepage as well on my website. So tomorrow, that's sort of what I'm going to get into. Right now I've got a primary school council meeting. That's just one of those little things you do when you're a dad. But I'm going to get back, I'm going to get a little bit more into it, and we might talk about it then, but more than likely I'll tell you tomorrow what we're going to run through, so we'll catch you then. Hey guys, today is Thursday, and have a fair bit on my list. Based on yesterday going through my Google Analytics and along with some of the data that I collect for myself, I found where I think or I believe the problems could lie with just the traffic flow through my website at the moment. So I've got a few things I'm going to change around there and see how that goes. I find it best when you're exploring things like this to do a little bit at a time rather than change lots of things. If you change lots of things, sometimes you lose track of where you are and you start going downhill or going the other way. I've done that before. So I recommend just changing a little bit each time and then monitoring that over a couple of weeks if you're really urgent. Or a month preferably if things are still flowing, which they are for me. It's just this time of year and I just wanted to sort of have a look at a few things and I discovered some stuff. So that's why you use Google Analytics. If you're not using Google Analytics, I highly recommend it. In fact, I had got a checklist which I'll let you know about at the end of this video, and that's where you can get that. And it will just sort of go over a few things that it's like a checklist of what to look for when you're using Google Analytics, and also some ideas on what sort of data you need to collect as well. So I'll leave a link for that soon. And but for today, right now, I've got to get to work. This is like my last day of work this week. I took Monday off as a bit of a sickie, I suppose, in some ways. I wasn't feeling that great. And I just sort of had lots of other bits and pieces I wanted to do. Tomorrow morning is the primary school swimming sports, like the whole district comes together. So I always go and get involved with that because one of my kids is very much into swimming and the other one's in the competition as well. So I go and get involved in that. As a kid, I always loved swimming. And so that sort of knocks out half of tomorrow. The rest of the day I will be preparing for the weekend and things like that. So today's really my last day possible of working, so I'll probably do go from now right through till late tonight, just making sure I get everything off my list. So I'll check back with you soon anyway. Cheers. Hey guys, so one of the things that I really love about today's advertising world with the internet and the digital format is that so quickly and so easily you can change things and see straight away the response in it. So today I changed a few things on my website because it wasn't converting as well as it could. I knew that. I was aware that February is always a bit of a quiet time, but going through the Google Analytics yesterday, there were a few things I picked up on, and I sort of delved a little bit deeper, went back through some of my information and worked out where I'd made some changes that actually hadn't been that good a move. So I have changed a few more things again, and already today, like the inquiries have picked up this afternoon, coming in really well. So that's just how it works. Sometimes it's really worth like spending the time and actually going over and analysing those channels where the people are coming in to find you. So yeah, once again, history wins. Hey guys, so today is Friday. Got up very early this morning again, about around 4, and did a pile of work. Today's swimming school sports, the first big one where it's like all the inter-school coming in, so our house is a buzz already with the kids getting ready for that. Still got a fair bit of work I want to get done today, as well as being Friday, getting ready for the weekend again. So that's sort of pretty much my goal. This weekend's a quiet weekend, which is sort of nice. Sunday is our local billy cart race, so we all get involved with that. The front yard is filled with billy carts that my dad makes, and we're gonna go and have a big family fun day with that. So yeah, so Saturday is the only day we shows this weekend, so not a lot of prepping, but still you got to prep and you got to be ready for it. So I'll talk to you a bit later anyway about some of the stuff that I've done this morning, and we'll check in then. Hey guys, so I ended up spending most of the day at the pool. It's now just after 2 o'clock, but the good news on that is that there was a whole, like the whole district, all the schools, so there was like seven schools there, all together, competing against each other, and a lot of those schools I know the teachers through either magic shows or just through the theatre where I used to work as well. So so I sort of shook hands with a lot of people I hadn't seen for a while and managed to pass out some cards and talk a little bit about what I was doing. So some exciting things there, and definitely raised some interest. So you just it always works to go out into the community sometimes and join in. Right now I'm just quickly replying to some inquiries that came in, and on that note I have to say that with what I did yesterday with my website, after going through the Google Analytics and sort of working out where there was a problem. It wasn't a major problem, but it was just one of those little things on my website which I had changed and sort of hadn't really thought about when I changed it, and it obviously affected the outcome. As people were going to my website, they weren't getting the true sensation of what was happening there. So I've just changed that, improved it actually, not changed it back to where it used to be. I've actually changed it again, but it's a vast improvement, and that's already showing in all the inquiries that are coming in the last yesterday afternoon and today. So yeah, so just going to do these inquiries now, and then I've got a bucket load of stuff I really want to get into on a separate project again. It's to do with the vlog, and getting some information together for you guys so that you can get that information if you want it. So I'll talk about that tomorrow, or in the tail end of this video, which isn't far away now. But I just want to make sure I get it in place before I talk about it. So yeah, we'll get back into it. Cheers. So yeah, that was it for this week. So yeah, as it turned out, it was actually for the better. If you want a copy of the 7-point checklist for booking system trend analysis, stay tuned. At the very end of this video there will be a link come up on the screen. You just click on that, follow that through to the blog site, and you can download a copy of it there. I hope it helps if you grab it, and don't forget also, if you haven't already, click subscribe, that side, and remember also to leave any comments. I'd love to hear them, and as always, until next week, stay true to your magic, and in between, always work hard. Cheers guys.